Big Jim always makes fun of me for not zipping up my coveralls. I just want to prove, Jim, I can zip them up.
How much are you sucking it in, though?
Oh, check it out here. This is almost like Johnny, but not quite. Now, who do we have here? This is my somewhat new friend, Matt. Now, Matt works as a salesperson for John Deere. What's the name of your dealer?
Right Implement.
Right Implement in Orleans?
Orleans, Indiana.
Not New Orleans, but Orleans. So we've had a challenge while we're moving. We only have one tractor with a set of forks. And Matt figured that out just by watching a couple of our videos, and he called us up and says, hey, I've got a little 2025R, brand new one. You know what? I've been wanting to see one of these 2025Rs anyway. So I've had the chance to sit on one of these 2025Rs. You know, just like it was when I was a little kid, I sat up there and just kind of dream and imagine what it would be like to drive it. But I haven't got a chance to actually drive one a little bit and actually experience it. So I'm hoping maybe I can twist Matt's arm and he'll let me see what it's like.
Today's your lucky day.
Now, you told me before we got on camera that this is a truly Johnny-inspired Johnny.
Yes, it is. Probably stumbling onto your videos and maybe 2 months after coming across your first video is when we decided to purchase a compact tractor. So, and it's just been great around our small farm. It's been handy.
Yeah.
So, and then your questioning the 2025R made me question it over the 1025. And once they started coming in last spring, when they come out with the new design, it made more sense.
Yeah. Now Matt's referencing a video that we shot the day this machine was released at the Farm Progress Show in Illinois. We'll put a card to that up in this corner.
Yeah.
If your device supports it. Also a link in the description if we can remember. That's where we went over the 2025R, and for the first several months there were a lot of questions about whether this machine was really going to be any different. What's your experience with that?
I think because I have good comparison with my mom has a 1025R, so yeah. I had quite a few hours on it, and then when this come out and using this at my place, it's just a little bit wider, it's a little bit longer, it sits up a little bit better. I kind of like the view, and the ride seems to be just a little bit better. Makes sense. And it's just power wise and stuff, it's the same thing. It's the same power plant and everything, but the taller tires and just the kind of being up a little bit better, really gets it out of that lawnmower stage into the kind of more of a compact tractor. Yep. So. Hey,
you know what? Too much talk. This guy needs to help me move.
Yep.
Matt, this is the Artillion fork frame, the 3,000 pound model. I don't know, I don't think you've probably ever seen one up close.
Not up close, no.
So I told Matt we would show him the new fork frame and show him the 42-inch forks that we got for it. And we'll see how that compares to Johnny's 36-inch forks. Man, I've not used these 42-inch forks yet.
Ooh, no scratches.
So you go right in the middle there. And then pull up that, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Slide into any of those notches. That little knob works nice, doesn't it? I don't have that knob on my older ones. I think they changed that at some point after my older ones. Folks, we have an interesting story here. We bought this thing called an instant shelter. If you look at some of our oldest videos, we had this little tent that used to sit about right here that we stored Johnny in. We thought we were going to be here all winter, so we bought another version of that tent, only it was even bigger. It was going to be big enough to hold Casey and Vinny and maybe some other fun stuff. Fortunately, we don't need it now, but unfortunately we have to pay a 25% restocking fee to take this thing back. And we got it on sale. So this thing usually runs $900. We paid $700, and now we're going to get back about $500. Somebody's going to see this in the video and say, well, I would have bought that, but I don't know what to do. You know what? I forgot something important. That thing's heavy. You're going to need some rear ballast.
Yeah.
Let's find one here. Which one do you want to try? The offset or the double bracket or the...
Well, we got the big brother. Do you want to go with the bigger one?
Okay. sounds good. I don't have any bushings right now, so this will have to do. But it won't matter for this short time.
I don't think it's gonna go anywhere.
For the longer term, we've talked about these bushings repeatedly. You really need the bushings that I've shown you many times on these videos. For a very short period, you can get by without them. What do we got in here? We got enough to put some on the front. Let's put some on the front. Now you can get your heavy hitch at heavyhitch.com.
Coupon code TTWT.
Coupon code TTWT for 5% discount checkout. Katrina, you just finished calculus. You'll have to tell us how much ballast we have here.
Oh, I was going to ask you about how much torque you thought that this would help with on the front. That's probably the wrong term.
The front end will probably come off the ground.
I think so. We'll have to ask if this has the special juice in the tires that makes it not float away.
I doubt that Matt's tires are loaded with water.
I've got rim guard in the rear tires.
Oh, you do have rim guard.
Yeah.
They are loaded. But he's got bigger tires. How many gallons will these hold?
I think they said 36, 30 gallon, 30, 28.
That's a major difference. I never really thought about that advantage. The 1025R will hold about 9.5 gallons. Matt, are you going to let me try this thing?
Yes, I'm going to let you try it. You're up. Because it's your yard, so.
I'm up here in the cockpit. This thing's amazing. Just imagining.
You don't have to imagine anymore.
I don't! Hop on here, let's go for a ride. You ready? I will say, just in the brief little bit I've been on this tractor, the length does make a difference, or something makes a difference. It feels more stable front to back, for sure. It's odd because in some ways it feels like exactly the same tractor as the 1025R. In some ways it feels totally different. Wow, the ride is different. You know, my Johnny is a 2014 model 1025R. I assume it's this valve is different. I've already noticed that this loader is easier to control than my 2014 model 1025R. That's going to be hard to quantify, but just loading one pallet on the trailer, it was just so much easier to control, to keep from, dropping it all of a sudden, raising it all of a sudden. No, you're off like a dirty shirt. That's what you get sometimes for buying something on sale. Thought we saved $200 and ended up costing us $200.
Matt offered to bring some pallets, and I quickly took him up on that offer. I knew they'd be helpful for the move.
Oh, you got it all. I'm going to have to send you home. You better check your serial number.
I've got photos of it.
I didn't feel comfortable driving up Jimmy's ramp. I was afraid I'd crush it.
Next one, now I think.
This is the approach I usually use to get to that top shelf. It's just a bit too high for the 1 Series or the 2025R to reach in there and grab something.
Ooh! You can see why I'm a little nervous about that.
Yeah, it's just all that it can reach.
I suppose I could build myself a little better, more sturdy, wider ramp, and I'd be able to get around a little easier. But this is, I felt like if I put those shelves any lower, that I wouldn't have any middle shelf space or lower shelf space. So we'll get this on, get to the next one.
Matt had these short nylon chokers, I guess you would call them. And wow, they work really nice over the end of that fork.
I don't know where we would be without these Artillion forks.
Use the Artillion forks.
I use my forks probably 75% of the time over the bucket. I mean, it's just any little thing with pallets around or moving anything,
Yeah.
it's just, I never would have thought that I would have used the forks as much as
He
I do
uses
as
them
the
all
bucket.
the time. Those are the 42 inch. I think he uses the shorter ones most often, but those look a little thicker to me on the bottom side. Probably can pick up heavier stuff. Is
Heavier stuff, yeah.
Okay.
And a little bit better reach for supporting heavier material, you know,
Right.
put something on a longer pallet or whatever. It's handling that tiller just fine, isn't it?
Yeah. And you've got turf tires, is that right?
T3 is what they're called. It's
Okay.
kind of a hybrid turf tire. There's an actual turf tire that looks like what's on a normal lawnmower. And then
Okay.
there's this, and then the R4s like on Johnny.
Okay.
I really, I use snow removal, and it kind of talk like this wore a little bit better on the hard surfaces.
Okay.
So, and it's been great in the mud.
Yeah, our backyard's, it's been so wet this winter.
But I really like them. I haven't complained with those tires yet. So.
You can get your forks at Artillion.com. Got 2 or 3 different choices of leaf, 2 different frame choices. We love these things.
And if you like these nylon straps, I noticed that boltonhooks.com has several different links. He calls them ring slings. I've got one, but for whatever reason I seem to pick up a chain first. Maybe I have to change that.
Too many attachments, Katrina. You know what that is?
Yeah, grain bean flag, like
Grain leg, yeah.
handy bolt bins.
Yeah.
Them are a little close together.
Yeah, and maybe that's what we should do.
Take every other one out.
That might be the better answer, because we find them not as handy as we thought they would be.
Yeah.
Lots of junk, man.
I get the boxing job.
Come on, Lucy, here. Lucy. She ain't got a lick of sense. Lucy. She was up there. Well, it truly is a different tractor. Really. I never thought it would be. I thought the bigger tires might not really make much of a difference, but it really is a different feeling tractor. All right,
There you go.
transition there is not nearly as rough as this right.
Awesome. If you want to chase Lucy.
Man, you're pretty good at that.
So now you can lift it up, turn it over.
That's far enough. So the lift height of these little tractors is limited for a reason. And the reason for that limitation is because they're a little bit tipsy. So they do a lot of testing to determine what the max lift height is. And naturally somebody like me is going to try to exceed that. And that's what we're doing here in this portion of the video. I would not recommend doing what we're doing where you're going to be out on uncertain surface like a rock or dirt surface. But we're going to go in here and pick up these 2 pallets on the top We're going to back them up just a little bit with these forks upside down, and then we're going to set them on our yellow scaffolding. We're going to turn the forks back over and pick them up and put them on the floor. So if you're Safety Sally, just maybe skip forward a few minutes in this video. But do be careful if you try this project. I would not recommend trying this if you're going to go very far at all with the pallet. And if you're inexperienced, same way.
Okay, so of the two approaches shown in this episode, this one sure felt more stable and safe than the other approach.
Well, that actually worked very well. It was stable. It was easy to work with. I'm sure that's not an approved mechanism, but it worked very well. And I hope you notice I went very, very slowly, very, very steady. Didn't worry about being in a hurry at all, and it worked fine. You can make it do two functions at once, but you have to really work at it. Have we totally lost Jimmy at this point?
Oh, his toys are much more fun. You just about lost your cameraman playing with it too.
You like that thing?
I do.
Yeah. I never thought these would ever come down. They wouldn't hardly fit. So we took Johnny and his bucket and actually pushed this middle piece here to make them fit. So I promise you that this is not going to be a simple lift up to get this out of here. In fact, what I think I've got in mind is we'll just match Johnny here and put a chain around it, give it a little bit of a pull, hopefully to relieve it. Well, I'll be.
Wow.
Christy, can you back up Johnny and we'll get that big long pallet and maybe we can set this stuff on there long ways.
Just in case you're curious about it, I talk at length about the pallet racking in a storage video published a few months ago. We'll put a link to that in the description as well. The summary is that I bought this for less than $500 at a second-hand wholesale pallet racking store.
So far easier than I expected.
Yeah.
Cheeseburger power.
Well, based on this amount of disassembly effort, I have no regrets about taking this down. Uh-oh, you get that one, Matt.
All right.
Seeing that nice ceiling, the bright lights, the well-insulated walls, I'm gonna miss this place.
Oh, I won't be able to reach that back. That's where I had to pull it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Christy, get on the tractor and back that stuff out. There you go. Well, look at that. You just need a little John Wayne.
He John Wayne'd it.
I haven't got much John Wayne left, as old as I am.
the shelving. Shelving came apart pretty easily, but I had to help, so that's why there is no video of that. So. There is no way we were gonna let this stay here.
Now, if you pick that up and the whole thing goes, it's your fault. I like that laugh.
It's been fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Me and my Johnny's going home.
Okay, unloading time.
So, this is it.
I would take this 100 times over there. What is there?
Since we had stuff on pallets, it didn't take but, I don't know, 5 minutes to unload Matt's trailer. It's a good thing, because it seemed to take most of the day over at the other property, getting things loaded up.
Matt, you've been here all day. Did you really know what you were volunteering for?
I had seen your garage on the videos. I kind of figured it was an all-day deal, but I'm glad to help.
Well, I tell you what, the least we can do is maybe provide you a little bit of Tractor Time with Tim goodies.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
There's a hat.
Yeah.
You might want to open it up. Might be good for the ears right now, in fact.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's pretty sharp. I think the black looks good.
Yeah.
Don't you?
I do think it looks good. I'm kind of jealous.
And your very own Tractor Time with Tim shirt.
Thank you.
It may be a little small. If it's the wrong size, we'll work on that.
It's missing a couple X's.
A couple X's.
At least one anyway.
We'll work on that.
That's
We'll
okay.
work on that.
All right.
We really appreciate you coming. I mean, the help with moving was incredible. But even more than that, it's just a chance to make a friend.
Yeah.
And we've seen you now a couple of times, and you know, just feel like we really have a new friend here. And this is probably our favorite part of Tractor Time with Tim, is all the quality people that we meet. Matt, you're one of them. Christy, come on in here. She's standing back there. And
Because I'm not Tractor Time with Tim.
we really appreciate you coming. And
Not a
Thank you
problem.
very much.
Not a problem. It was a pleasure.
And folks, Matt is at Wright Implement at Orleans, Indiana. Stop by. Check out the 1025R, the 2025R, or the 8335R.
Anything in between. Anything in between.
Combines, you know, grain carts, whatever you want.
E110 if you even want it. So.
There you go.
Check out our website, tractortimewithtim.com. Check out Wright Implement's website at
WrightIMP.com.
And we'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
Not hitching a ride back on the pallet?
Well, through no fault of the tractor itself, the pallet mysteriously drops to the pavement.